It's called Don't Mind Me. It's going to be the first single off Constellation. I fall and can't get up. I'm down, I've had enough. Violent words spill from my mouth, and broken thoughts I spit them out. Don't mind me. I'm stuck here seeing red. Better off left for dead. I only see futility and ugliness surrounding me. Don't mind me today. Don't mind what I say. I really felt like it was time for me to make a change and go back to something that was sonically maybe a little more similar to the Nourallah brothers, sort of indie pop. And I wanted to do another Nourallah brothers record, but that didn't really pan out. And then I just started thinking about friends that I had that played music that I could just do a record with just me and one other person, just exactly like my brother and I did stuff. And really Billy was the instant, obvious first choice, because he's sort of like not only an incredible singer-songwriter, but multi-instrumentalist, and he's a producer, and he has his own studio in Austin. And I also felt like it was really time for me to get out of my studio, because I've been producing myself, recorded everything that I've done to date in Pleasantry Lane, even going back to the Nourallah Brothers CD, which was like the first one we've done. So I really just wanted to shake things up. It's such a beautiful day. Why am I so far away? I wanna be here now. Hundreds of thoughts fill my head, but I'd rather hear yours instead. I wanna be here now. Always caught up in the doing. Always the pushing and pulling. I wanna give in to the moment of my choosing. Swarming like flies all around. Nothing can drown out this sound. I wanna be here now. For Constellation, it was just obvious. I wanted to completely go back to just one other person and myself. And so I think that dictated a much different sound, because you have more limitations. Because even guys who play all the instruments themselves, like Billy doesn't play drums like a guy who just plays drums. So there's just like, I think, charm to it, but handling everything ourselves is sort of like, you know, you could get a keyboard player that's a much technically more badass keyboard player, but there's this thing, you know, about keeping it simple. Well, on this record, you know, there was no doubt I deferred to Billy as a producer. If he wasn't buying something, then it wasn't gonna fly. It wasn't gonna be on the record. So, you know, every now and then I had to talk him into some things. Like there's a song called St. George's that he wasn't sure about, and Grace Vroom insisted, she's a fan and a friend, that St. George's had to be on the record, and I kind of felt the same way. So, you know, my producer ended up going along with it, and I think it turned out great. St. George's shuffles the beat like a solitaire deck that beckons patiently, calling back on them. TV on, curtains are drawn, a waste night in this room. Afternoon cocktail in hand, cigarette in bloom. What was your name? St. George's, what was your game? There's this old Nick Lowe song called I Love My Label that he did for Stiff Records, and I truly love my label. I love those guys, and I want to see them succeed, and it's a really nice feeling, because I think over the years there's always been sort of this adversarial, you know, the label is the man, and it's not like that anymore at all. You know, if you're on an indie label, it can be a really beautiful experience. It's interesting because it seems like Ferris is on a French label, and he's sort of got this like cult thing going on, and I know that there's small pockets of cult Nourallah fans, but you know, just being there the once, I really didn't have a chance to get much of a grip on things. I talked to a guy who told me that, you know, our records have always been available in these trendy little boutique indie shops, which, you know, I thought was nice and romantic. But send good son Jeffrey on his way, Bloody Mary's at your grave.
Is this the last song?
Perfect ending.
yeah.